My name's Kurt Santini. I'm a candidate for governor of Virginia 2021. This is Miss Sheri. She has some unemployment issues that's been happening in her family, and we're here to talk to her about that. Miss Sheri, why don't you tell me a little bit about the story you were talking to me about earlier today?
Okay, my husband applied for unemployment in June when the company that he worked for 15 years closed its doors.
Right.
Since that time, we have not, he has not received any benefits. We cannot talk to anybody. We call every day. We have not been able to get up with anybody. I've sent the governor email. I've done everything that we can possibly do. We've gone through our savings. We've maxed out credit cards. If somebody doesn't help soon, we will be behind on car payments, house payment, and we're just asking for someone to help.
Right. So you're having a lot of the same problems that a lot of Virginians are having. If they don't fill out the paperwork just right, they get a denial. They don't know what they missed on the paperwork or why they got denied. They can't call nobody because nobody's answering the phones. If they leave a message, they're not getting a return. If they email, they're not getting an email return, right? So you're a hard worker, right? I mean, you come to work every day, you follow the governor's mandates, you wear the mask at work, you don't want to get your employer in trouble, right?
Right,
But you're still struggling because your husband's out of work.
right.
So did his business closed in June? Was it because of COVID?
COVID had something to do with
COVID
it,
played part. Okay.
but they closed the doors, and we don't know why he's not getting his unemployment. If they could tell us what he needs, I mean, it's obvious that he qualifies for it. He's been at the same company for 15 years. I think he's missed 2 days of work in 15 years.
Very hard worker.
Hard worker. He's a Class A tool and die machinist. He made good money. He also had our insurance. My family now has no insurance, and we can't purchase any because we don't have any money.
And is he looking for a job actively?
Every week, every day, every week he fills out his unemployment of where he looked. But after 15 years and being a machinist, you can't just walk into somewhere and make good money. You can't.
Is it even more difficult now that COVID restrictions are in place?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody will talk to you. You can't go to a place and apply for a job. You've got to do it online.
So he's not getting any kind of interviews because he can't stand face to face with a business owner that's hiring and say, this is my character, you can read my body language, you can see the truth and honesty in my eyes, and now all they're doing is they're looking on the computer.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? The governor's mandates, the VDH enforcement? Have you been threatened by the VDH? Has your business that you work for, your employer, been threatened?
Yes, we were told if we didn't do certain things, they would pull our license to operate. We have tried to do everything that they ask us to do. Every employee wears a mask 24/7 unless they're eating or drinking. We've done everything that we can do, but still it's very scary. If I lose my job, we'll lose everything.
How many families are going through that right now? Do you get customers in your business on a regular basis, in the place that you work? Do they talk? Do you have conversations with people about the struggles that they're going through?
I hear their struggles. I don't try to talk about mine because it's my job to make them feel good, not to bring them down. So, but I hear them talking, and some of them are experiencing the same thing I am.
Unemployment issues, hard time finding a job because of COVID restrictions, business shutting down, things of that nature?
Yes.
Have you lost any employees where you work because of COVID-19?
Yes.
What was the circumstances surrounding that?
Well, I have one out now that's um, on where you restrict. She can't come to work. She's out for 14 days. Then she'll be tested. She can't step back in until she's negative. And I lost time from work because I had to be tested. And I couldn't come back till my test came back negative because of another employee. Mine was negative, but it took them 4 days to get the results back. So I lost 4 days of pay.
And you're not getting any compensation for that 4 days that you're out of work, even though you tested negative.
None.
So they're taking your money from you by restricting how many hours you can work, how many customers can come in. They're restricting money from you by telling you you've got to test because you are around somebody and you can't go to work, and we're not going to pay you for that. We're making you stay home. We're physically making you stay home, and we're not going to pay you for that.
That's true.
The employee that tested positive, how's she doing right now? Is she doing okay?
She's doing fine. She's recovered nicely. She should be able to come back to work next week. We're waiting on the test. But she's struggling for money. I mean, she can't pay her bills. She's been out of work for 14 days.
Is she, what age group is she in? 30, 40, 50 to 60?
30 to 40.
30, she's in the age group of 30 to 40. And has she given you any indication on how her symptoms were? Were they really strong? Were they more like flu? Were they, some extra symptoms? I think you said they're taking her taste away?
She said she couldn't smell, couldn't taste, and had a headache. And just felt tired. But they weren't, bad.
Right. How long did those symptoms last for her?
She said that finally, after about 10 days,
So 10 days?
Yeah, she started to be able to taste and smell, and her headache's gone.
What are your thoughts on COVID-19? Is it something that we should be putting on just on a personal level, not on a professional or business, just your personal opinion? Do you think we should be going to the extremes we're going with mandating what people can and can't do, hurting our children by not letting them go to school full time, closing these businesses down, restricting the customer's ability to decide if he wants to go in that business or not? What are your thoughts on that?
My personal opinion is that that's what my family fought for my right to choose, and you give me the information and then let me choose whether I want to go in a place or, because the economy is suffering, and when you restrict these people from staying open or whatever, the economy is going down further. We're not going to bounce back.
All right, so I have a plan that protects your rights and allows you to have choice whether you're going to go into a business, open your business. Right now, businesses across the state already have the ability, the legal right, to refuse service to anybody for any reason, right?
Correct.
So if I took away all the governor's mandates and I put out a plan that said, if you're afraid of COVID, if you have an immune deficiency, or you're in the age bracket where you're susceptible to getting hurt, you can put up a sign in your business door that says you may not enter without a mask, right?
Right.
Then nobody coming in that store is going to infect you with COVID because they're wearing a mask. I also believe that, we can put policies in place within the schools. If your kid is sick, they don't come to school, period. Put those testing parameters in place. Otherwise, they come to school full time. If you're a teacher that has an immune deficiency or of elderly age, we'll put a TV screen up in your classroom and you can teach through that TV screen. That younger teacher's aide can help the students in the classroom while the teacher's teaching through school, right?
That's correct.
Do you think we could have implemented these kinds of plans without restricting people's rights and still be within a safe control over COVID-19?
Absolutely.
There are solutions to protecting the citizens of Virginia without infringing on the people's rights. We do not have to go to the extent that our governor has gone to, closing down our economy, hurting kids through school. None of this had to happen. None of these businesses had to be closed or restricted. People have the sense to make the decision whether they're going to go in or not go in based on what sign is on that door. I'm Kurt Santini, candidate for Governor of Virginia 2021, and I approve this message.